something that Louisiana has to offer, and we want the Audubon Golf Trail to be the equivalent of the Robert Trent Jones Trail in Alabama that attracts people from all over the country.
What we need to do is we need to restructure the taxes in Louisiana to attract people to retire here. We're not doing that. We've got to get rid of the income tax and restructure the whole tax. People build their business here, and before they sell it, they move away not to pay the income tax. And until we fix the tax structure in this state, we're not going to attract people to retire here.
What you have to do is make certain people understand all the amenities that Louisiana has to offer. If we can do away with the income tax, it's been a topic of discussion in the legislature. It's absolutely going to be a continuing topic of discussion, and it ought to be, to figure out if there's a responsible way that we can make that happen and not damage our educational system, not fall further behind on lists that we know we want to rise from the bottom of. That's going to be an important ongoing topic of discussion. It is absolutely a consideration and a factor that people make as they're making retirement decisions. But it's also important what the quality of life is like in a state for people to decide where they want to spend time when they've hopefully got a little bit of money to spend, a little bit of time to invest, and we need to make certain they appreciate all the virtues of Louisiana.
Well, I think you got to look at the two candidates and look at the history, the track record of lowering taxes, raising taxes, and to restructure that tax plan should include lowering taxes, not raising taxes, and that's what I'll do.
All right, now we're going to get to the meat and potatoes and shrimp and the gumbo, crawfish, whatever. This is one of the main parts of your job, of course, is tourism.
Speak up, Mark.
This is one of your main parts of your job, that is to say, to raise tourism. I'm going to add in here one slight thing that I think is also important. In the survey I sent you guys, which, by the way, we appreciate y'all working on that. We're going to publicize that. There was also a question about not just tourism, but we all know we're losing smart and able citizens of this state. I have two kids, right? They both graduated from Baton High. They're both doing well in other states, okay? Now, I know it's not tourism, but if you can answer that together, what are your plans to increase tourism and maybe convince people to stay in Louisiana? And how would you prioritize the limited taxes that we have available? And what else can you do toward this task?
Start toward what?
Toward this task of increasing tourism in Louisiana. And let's see, I think Mr. Gardner first. Okay.
Well, first thing we need to do is we need to use the great resources we have here. We've got great chefs, musicians. We need to take their talents around the world, around the country. You know, just like the seafood, you can market all you want to tell people to eat it. But if you give somebody something to eat and they like it, they'll buy it. We did that at the Super Bowl. We sent Louisiana shrimp up there and gave them away. And because of it, 3 local vendors got contracts to sell seafood in Dallas. But that's how you promote your seafood, with your local people, and that'll bring opportunities. As far as creating jobs across the board, we need to look to the large Louisiana companies here that are using suppliers outside Louisiana. In Plaquemines Parish, over 700 new companies, Louisiana companies, new business in Plaquemines Parish that did new business there before I took office. It wasn't any fancy ribbon cuttings. It was a job here, a job there. It just took a lot of hard work going to the large companies like ConocoPhillips and asking them, let me see your vendor list. Where are you getting these supplies? Where are these companies coming from? Most of them were coming from Texas. Well, today those companies are located in Louisiana. It just takes a lot of hard work.
Thank you. 2 minutes.
In answering this question and evaluating the candidates, I hope you're going to look at vision as one of the qualifications. When I served in the Louisiana legislature, there were 2 great needs that I saw. The first was to develop a motion picture industry in Louisiana, and I authored the bill that created the motion picture tax credit for our state. We're now the 3rd movie-making destination in America, behind California and New York. You talk about jobs, grips, electricians, set designers, costume designers, small businesses that service movies that are made in Louisiana, an industry that didn't exist before I and others in the legislature said we can create a new industry for Louisiana that will give young, bright, creative people a place to live and work in our state. It's happening. Secondly, we saw the desperate need to create educational alternatives for young people who are not destined to go to 4-year degree institutions. And I authored the bill that created the community and technical college system and has created a whole new training ground for young minds in Louisiana to get associate degrees, 2-year degrees, some semblance of training that will provide them the opportunity to get a real job. And it is working. That's the kind of vision we need to promote jobs in this state. And in relation to tourism, in relation to seafood, I've already touched on it. We have increased jobs in the tourism industry in just 10 months. We're spending money properly that's attracting more and more people to Louisiana. We'll have measuring sticks and you'll be able to grade me on how we've done in the tourism industry, because I have some very specific goals that I want people to look at and say, did we get it done or not? And that's the way you determine if somebody is effective and accountable.
Well, my 1 minute, Bob. I hope you're not taking credit for the movie industry in the state. But let me tell you, to create jobs and keep our people here, I'll finish up with this, is we have to do things like create venture capital funds with local investment that we can keep that money here for getting high-tech companies and using that money to create jobs here at home. And that'll help keep some of those people here.
Well, obviously, what you want to do is create an environment in Louisiana that people will want to invest in. You do that by electing people who are able to ably articulate everything great about Louisiana and conduct themselves in a way that people say, I'm proud of my elected official. I believe Louisiana is headed in the right direction. I believe the people we have in office are doing it for the right reasons, and their motivations are pure, and they're promoting Louisiana in a wonderful way. That's what's going to attract investment in Louisiana, and I firmly believe, as I said earlier, that getting people in the door as tourists, visiting our state and being exposed to all the great wonders of Louisiana is going to convince them, this is a place I want to invest, this is a place I want to retire.
Fantastic. Help me out here. I'm pretty sure Mr. Megas is first.
Talk louder. It's me this time.
Okay, I apologize for okay. Mr. Darden, this one, you guys have seen something like this already, and I haven't seen your answers yet, but as we all know, it's possible that you guys can become the governor. Who knows? Now, that's not the main thing that we're here to talk about tonight, but knowing that that is always a possibility, the question is, tell us about the job your predecessor, Bobby Jindal, has done as governor. If it becomes necessary that you would have to be doing what he is doing now, what would you do the same, and what would you do differently, and why?
I think Bobby has been an excellent governor for Louisiana. I think he's done a tremendous job to reshape the image of Louisiana. Having an articulate, bright, young man with ideas leading our state has catapulted him into the national spotlight and is reflected very well on Louisiana. I think that's very much a positive. I look forward to his second term, which I think is obviously going to take place. One thing I would do differently is I think I would communicate more with elected officials and with the press. That's my observation of what I would do differently. I've had the privilege of either working with or observing very carefully 6 governors in my adult lifetime, and I've been able to assess things that I believe they've done right and things that I believe they've done wrong. They've all done things right, they've all done things wrong. And I hope to be able to learn from those firsthand experiences if this situation presented itself and take the good things from what each of them did and parlay them into a successful time as governor of our state. I'm running for lieutenant governor. I hope the governor stays 4 years.
2 minutes.
I saw something doing this oil spill, working with Governor Jindal, that I hadn't seen in Louisiana in a long time. I saw a cooperative spirit amongst local leaders across this state that worked as a team out there in the marsh to fight this oil spill. The governor did an excellent job, and he does an excellent job. But he needs a partner in the lieutenant governor's office. For so many years, it's been stripped of a lot of things that they could be doing, like the economic development, like helping in other areas that aren't specifically described in the job description. Like I said before, if it was just going to do tourism, for the staff and the amount, and being statewide elected, they should be out there selling jobs and opportunities and having a business background and a sense for lower taxes to create jobs. I think uniquely qualifies me and the good working relationship I have with Governor Jindal and the other state and federal elected officials in the state.
I don't think there's any question, based upon what I hear from people, that as they assess the two of us and decide who they're going to vote for, they're considering the fact of the what if. What if Bobby Jindal leaves? The person that we entrust to be our lieutenant governor may very well have to assume that office. And so I think in making their evaluations of us, they have to determine who has the right skill set and the right abilities to be able to do that job. And I think it is going to be an issue in the race. I don't think it's the sole issue or frankly the most important issue. I think the more important issue is who can run the department and run it effectively and be the face of Louisiana to the rest of the world.
That's, I guess, one.
Yes, I ask you to look at the 4 hurricanes we've been through and the oil spill. And look at the leaders that stood up to the plate, stepped up there, and wouldn't let a foreign company take advantage of us. And I look at the ones that were on TV, were out there fighting the fight. Those are the people I would like leading my state if something would happen to the governor. And that's why I'm running.
Thank you. Okay, now, Mr. Darden gets this one first. Everybody right? Mr. Megas this time. Yeah, I thought that. I'm trying to read this and do that at the same time. Sorry. All right, Mr. Nutgesser. What do you know about the core values of the Tea Party? And can you talk about those core values and how your position agrees or disagrees with ours?
I can. The Tea Party is a movement that is long overdue in cutting wasteful spending, and no nonsense balanced budget. We don't want to hear about all the programs. We need to balance the budget. We need to cut the waste, and we need to push for more fiscally conservative values, which is absolutely. I was born a Republican. I'm a fiscal conservative, and right in line. I'll never vote to raise taxes. We have so much waste and opportunity to save money if we just put the pencil to it and put the politics aside and do the right thing.
I told the Tea Party group last year that I felt like the Tea Party was the antidote to apathy, and I still believe that. I think it has engaged so many people, many of you sitting here tonight, who probably have not been involved in the political process at all, but felt compelled to get involved and to stand up and be counted and to speak up for America and the concerns you had about America. And I think that's been a very positive thing. My appreciation of the core values of the Tea Party certainly coincide with my views and the way that I've conducted myself in public life. You're looking for less government and fiscal conservatism. I've supported more than 24 repeals and exemptions during my time in the legislature. I led the charge to repeal the gift tax and the death tax in Louisiana. I was there when we created the rainy day fund, the balanced budget requirement throughout government, and the debt ceiling. Most important thing we've done in Louisiana, capped our debt. The lieutenant governor serves on the bond commission, which is often overlooked. It's a very important role. I go to the meetings myself. I don't send anybody. That's where we make decisions on where Louisiana's debt is going, and I take that responsibility very seriously. You're concerned about ethics in government. I was proposing ethical changes in Louisiana before ethics got cool. I had some success, and I didn't have as much success, and it finally happened under the Jindal administration. And you're for responsible leaders in government who you can say you're proud of because they're doing the right thing for the right reason.
Well, I'll say one thing. We had a lot of success at passing the Stelly tax increase. My opponent has voted for dozens of tax increases, fee increases. That's not the answer. And the voting record does not lie. And there's a big difference between cutting taxes, running a parish or a state, getting more business sense in there, or raising taxes to solve problems. Raising taxes is not an option.
No, it's not, and the record does speak for itself, and if you look at the record very carefully and not how it's distorted, you'll see that I voted to renew some taxes on a regular occasion when we had renewals that came up virtually every 2 years, multiple renewals when I was in the legislature. And I cut the taxes that I've told you about already and led the charge to make certain there was fiscal reform and responsibility in this government.
Thank you very much. There was a conversation in there about the bond commission, and I did have a question that was related to that one. So I'm going to jump to that one now. And so, the Darden is first, right? Okay. How much, this is related to tax incentives and tourism and the film industry. Okay. Of course, the Tea Party is very fiscally conservative. We all know that we love bringing new industry down here. At the same time, we filled up huge projects full of empty holes, and we don't know where the money went, right? So, so it's not all bad news. But The tax incentives that support the film industry and other things that go on are huge. Development bonds and other tax forgiveness has merit, but do we get what we pay for? And second, do we have enough transparency